Hi, welcome to Simply Refreshing Life. I'm Jessie Delgado. Thank you for being here one more week with me. Today I have a very special episode because I have a very special guest with me. This is my husband, Ralph.
Nice to meet you all.
And we're going to do a very fun one because we are very close to Valentine's Day. And it's when dating happens and all that. And we've been married for what, almost 20 years.
20 years this July.
Yeah, and we still go on dates because it's very important, right? And so, but let me introduce you to Ralph. Why don't you share our story, honey?
Sure. So, as we said, we've been married for almost 20 years. It will be 20 years this July. However, we've been dating for a little bit over 23 years.
Yes.
We met way back when relationships and friends still matter, because that's how we met. A friend of ours who didn't even live in the same country. He lived in Mexico.
That's right.
Introduced us. But at the time we were living in California, and those of you who are there, you know that distances are very great. So we were living in one side of LA County. I was living closer to the ocean, and she was all the way inland in the San Fernando Valley. So traditionally, we would have never met except for this divine intervention from God that put our friend Joaquin in touch with us.
Yes.
And that's how we started to date. And we went on our first date. Our first date was on July 4th, 1998.
Yes. And I was cold.
Could you believe that? Yes, she said she was cold in the middle of July in California. Not going to happen. So that's our story. But now I want to do a quick cut out and to explain from my point as the husband, as the father, as the man of the house, why is it important to continue to date our spouse? Well, I go to work and I have a boss. And sometimes I myself have been the boss, and I've had people reporting under me. You never go without months and months without talking to your boss or talking to your direct reports, right? You carve out time and you make time to find out what's going on with them, what are projects happening, how's work, how's life, because you want to be invested in making sure that the business that you're running or whatever it is that you're doing, that it continues to work. Well, how much more important is it to have that relationship with your spouse, to find out what's going on, to find out what is happening not only at home but also with the family, with the kids, extended family, and all, than your spouse. Correct? So we want to keep those communication channels open and going, and the only way to do that is we have to keep communicating. And at times, because of family busyness, right now in the time of COVID, everybody is home, depending, even if you are in some of the more freer states or less restricted states, you still have this mini mandate that you can go to a lot of different places. So it is even more important than ever now that we communicate with our spouses as to what's happening all around us, what's happening with school, what's happening at church, what's happening in our lives, because we are now on top of each other all the time. So this is a great segue into some of the date ideas that we brainstormed together as to how, even if you are in one of the states that are a little bit more restricted with less things to do, that you can still be able to spend some quality time together. And the key here is quality time.
Yes.
It's quality, not quantity.
That's right.
Because you can have 2-hour sit down, but you never talk to each other because you're on the phone, right? You have your phone here, and you're there, and you're talking, and all that stuff, and you're not talking, and you're not engaging with each other.
Right.
But what if you were able to just have, say, maybe 30, 40 minutes, time blocking, right? Block it, put it in your calendar. Jesse put a couple of things on our calendar for family time and for our time to get together. Our kids on Friday nights, they have a Zoom call with my sister-in-law in California for youth group, and they have a little time of Bible study, and then they do a couple of online games and everything. When they are taking that, I think it's an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. When they are doing that, that's our date. We watch some of the movies on Netflix. We rent movies, not that much choices, but sometimes we watch some of our old favorites.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like my all-time favorite, the greatest Christmas movie ever, Die Hard. She doesn't really believe that, But
No, that's not a
I-
Christmas movie.
I know a lot of my male colleagues out there are going to agree with me, and they're shaking their head.
No.
Yes, John McClane, greatest Christmas movie ever. Die Hard.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
let's keep going and let's get out now into what are some of our date ideas.
So before we do that, let me just add to what my husband is saying here. It's really important also because right now we're raising our kids and we're busy with our children, and it seems like our lives are invested in our children and we only do the children. But eventually they're gonna grow up, and eventually they're gonna leave the home, right? Because
Yes.
they have their own lives and they will get married or go to college or whatnot. And so what's going to happen when they leave? How are we going to engage if we have lost that communication? And so for us, it's very important to make sure that we have, that communication, that engagement with our lives without the children. And so we set time purposely to spend time with each other, to talk, and we talk about everything and anything. And sometimes, we end up talking about the kids because, that's our life right now, right? But we talk about his work, we talk about my projects. He's my biggest cheerleader. He helps me out a lot. And it's just, we're interested in what's going on with each other. And so that's something that we have worked on purposely on. But here are some date ideas. Are you ready? We have a few ideas. We go for the most budget-friendly ideas.
And simplistic.
The point is to have some time together, right? And to talk or just spend some time together, even if it's in the couch, snuggling together. It's great. So the first one I want to share is like what he was saying earlier. We watch a movie together every Friday, and it doesn't matter the movie. And I love like romantic comedies and all that, and so he tries to pick those movies, like that. And then he loves action movies, like he just said, the what's it called? The
Die Hard.
Yeah, that one.
The greatest Christmas
I'm not
movie.
a big fan, but it doesn't matter because we can sit down in the living room together and watch the movie together and spend time together. So we do that quite often. Just watching a movie, or sometimes we go on Netflix and we watch a series. Although that's kind of difficult sometimes because I'm like, I need to finish this series, but I have to wait for him to finish the series.
Binge. Yes.
Yes, wait. He doesn't do that. I do that. So anyway, that's good. What's another idea?
How about get outside? Go for a hike.
Oh,
If you're able to, right? If you are not in a restrictive state or restrictive area, how about just go for a hike?
Yeah.
And if the weather is nice, you can go ahead and do it. We live here in Utah, so going for a hike requires a lot of clothing because it is very cold. It hasn't snowed a lot, but it is very cold. Today, when I went to drop off the kids, it was a balmy 29. It was just below freezing.
But it feels colder.
But it's cold, right? So just go for a hike, right? Get some fresh air.
Yeah. Another thing is go for breakfast. That's not very common, and we were talking about this earlier. It's easier to go for dinner than for breakfast, but sometimes it's fun if you have kids in school and attending. Our kids are attending in-person school. Go out for breakfast. And remember when we used to go to the San Pedro place?
Yes.
Oh, that was so good.
The omelet and Waffle House.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still standing because
Who
we
knows?
haven't been in California in a long time, but that was our favorite activity to do before we had kids. And then also when the kids were old enough to stay home or they were in school, we would just sneak out and go out for breakfast. And that's just a great activity. You have the whole day, and then you eat a really yummy breakfast too.
This one is, I've seen a couple of ideas on YouTube. How about a candlelight dinner in your backyard?
Yeah.
Right? Spend a little bit of time. Show a little bit of initiative, especially us guys. Sometimes we're not very good at that creative aspect of things, but that's just the way we're hardwired, right? Give me a couch and a chair and a baked potato and I'm happy, right? But our wives, not so much. They want a little bit more of the wine and dine, maybe more romanticism. I'm not saying that all guys are like that, but I'm saying that the majority of us are very practical, right? That's the way God hardwired us. There's a reason why we are different There is a reason why she is the way she is and I am the way I am, because we are different. There is a difference in how we see the world.
Yeah, that's true. How about this one? So this one we haven't done. I've been wanting to do it, but he's more of a okay. We'll see. But how about attending a dance class? I think that sounds so much fun. I don't dance I'm not a dancer by any stretch of the imagination. I think I have two left feet. But I really enjoy it. There is a studio close by that they're not doing it right now because of COVID, but they will come back and do it. And they do like a ball night once a month, I think. And I think that will be super fun to do a dance class, right?
It could be. It could be. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
I'm working on convincing him, so pray for me.
Yes. Something that could be also very fun, depending on how it went on your guys' first date. How about recreate your first date?
Oh yeah.
Right. Many times, especially us guys, right? The peacock, we're trying to impress our mate and all. So what do we do on our first date? We go all out. Right,
Yeah.
we do all kinds of things to try to impress the girl. I remember on our first day we were at Universal's Studios and Universal City Walk, and we had a Jamba Juice,
yeah.
and then we went to watch a comedy movie. Right, this is again dating ourselves. We went to see Eddie Murphy and Dr. Dolittle,
Yeah.
his take on Dr. Dolittle. So it was
That
a
was funny.
fun comedy, right? Nothing too over the top, nothing like that. It was very family friendly.
Yeah.
And how would you recreate your first date? And it doesn't have to be exactly, right? Because you may have moved, or the place that you were visiting because of COVID or for any other financial reasons may not be there anymore, right? But how about you just try to recreate that first date, recreate that spark that got you interested in the first time?
Yeah, and even if it's at home, because I remember we had Cuban food that day. Maybe you can, try to cook the dish that you had together the first time. I mean, that's a great idea.
You can order online and have it delivered.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We haven't found a good Cuban restaurant here in Utah, but maybe I can try to cook it.
Right.
I'm brave. All right. The other one is something that I've heard a lot of. We haven't tried it yet, but we want. It's just like the dance class. Do an escape room date. I've heard that's a lot of fun. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
Yeah, and so that sounds something interesting and different. You get out of the think outside the box, like they say, and I think it would be kind of cool to just have that experience. I don't know if they're still open right now, but I mean I'm looking towards the future, and I'm very hopeful that things will go back to the way they were, and maybe we can do that in the near future.
Mm-hmm. Something that I really, really always enjoyed, even when I was single and hanging out at a youth group and all, is miniature golf.
Yeah, that's a good date.
Miniature golf is fun, right? I mean, raise your hand if you haven't done it. It's like, wow. Just going out there, I know for sometimes us guys saying, oh, I'm going to golf, it's a little much, right? I don't have the clubs, I don't have the experience and all, but miniature golf, anybody can do miniature golf.
Yes.
And not only that, but the majority of miniature golf places have right next door or in the same place an arcade, right? You can do the miniature golfing, and then you can do a couple of video games.
Yeah, that's
you
fun.
can make it all into one, also as a dinner and as an adventure, or you can do lunch, whatever the case may be. But it's just trying to keep the relationship between your wife and you the same, between her and I, right? Because the kids are always going to be there, but they're not always going to be around, which is a big difference. They're always going to be there, but they're not always going to be around.
Yeah, and miniature golfing sparks very interesting conversations.
and that bumping heads, competition, right? Competition.
Just keep it cool, people. Keep it cool. Another one that I thought it would be fun is bowling, and we actually done bowling. That's fun. I'm not very good at it, but who cares? The point is just to have some fun, right?
Yep.
And we even done that with the kids. I've taken the kids along, but together, it was fun. It was a lot of laughs.
Yes.
Because I can't. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Now, here's another activity that will get you outside, get you going, definitely get your heart rate up, definitely do some extraneous work. How about building a snowman? A
That
lot
was
of
his
us,
idea.
yep, a lot of us live in areas where it's actually cold and it snows and all that stuff. Building a snowman is just not for Christmas. It is not just a
No,
Christmas thing. We
yeah.
have winter, right? And some of us have in our areas where we live, like us here in Salt Lake and all that, it does get snow. And there's snow in the mountains, so we can actually go. And how about you build a snowman? How about if you do that? That would be fun, right? And because we always associate that with, oh, only kids can do that. It's like, no. None of these ideas, none of these things are age exclusive. You could be at the beginning of your relationship, you can be in the middle like us, or you can be at the very end of your relationship towards the latter part of your golden years.
Yeah.
You can do any of these things together.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be age specific. It doesn't have to be something that is so out there like skydiving or jumping out of a helicopter or a plane or
But if you're into it.
But if you're into it, more power to you, right? It just means that you want to continue to develop that special relationship and you want to continue that getting to know each other because we mature, we change,
Yeah.
but we remain at the core who we are.
Yep.
So, but we have differences.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and it's fun. It's fun. As I said, it sparks really interesting conversations. The next one I'm gonna give, it's one that is very traditional. Go out for a meal. You can go on a dinner date or a lunch date. You don't even have to spend that much money. We have gone on dates where we spend 25, 30 bucks because, we eat something good, cheap or whatever, and we talk and we spend time together. So if you are able in the state you're in or in the place you're in to go out and just share a meal together, just you and your spouse, it's a lot of fun. The next two we're gonna do, they're a little bit more, I don't know, like a little bit more expensive, if you would, but those are good ideas that you can try to do, especially if your kids are older and they're able to stay home, or you have somebody to watch the kids for you, and you can actually do this, and that is.
You can take a weekend cruise, right? 2-3 day weekend cruise. Again, this is with an eye towards the future. Right now, there's restrictions, COVID, all that. And everything, right? But you can take a weekend cruise, or maybe not just a weekend cruise. How about just a quick weekend getaway?
Yeah.
Right. You can travel somewhere. I know a lot of bed and breakfasts are available. There's a lot of stuff through online with reservations that you can book and all. So again, this is a little bit more elaborate because it requires a little bit more thinking, more planning, right? This could be something for celebrating a birthday, anniversary, that kind of stuff. But it also has a lot to do with where you are at and your stage of your life. You have someone to look after the kids, maybe grandparents, maybe siblings, aunts, uncles, whatever that case may be.
Yeah. And sometimes you can just go to a hotel. We've done that before. We have left the kids with my mom, and at the time we only had Nathaniel, and we just locally we didn't go out of state, and we left Nathaniel and we stayed at the hotel for 2 nights, and it was very relaxing because even though you're in the same town, it seems like you're on a vacation because you're in a hotel, so you don't have to clean or anything, So it's. Even if it's just one night, it's very nice. I remember once we went to San Diego, and this is a funny story. So when we were dating, we used to say we're gonna when we get married, we're gonna go to a late night movie because I had a curfew in my house, so I had to be home by midnight, like Cinderella.
Yep. And I kept the curfew. I never broke the curfew.
Yeah.
There were a few times that we were late only because we had prearranged outings like concerts and all, but it was always ahead of time and it was always notified to my in-laws.
Yeah.
I never broke curfew.
So we used to say, when we're getting married, that's the first thing we're going to do and all that. We never did it until much later. We took a getaway to San Diego, and the first thing we did when we got to the hotel, we slept.
We're just going to take a quick nap. We
slept all afternoon. I think we woke up around 5. And we're like, oh, okay, well, let's go eat. And so that was the first and only time we went to a movie at midnight. We came out like around 1 or something,
Yeah,
right?
it was at 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
so we came out about 12:30 or
Yeah,
so.
something like that. And it was, I remember like there was nobody around, and we were like, well, we did it. This is it. It was funny.
It was a lot of fun. It was very interesting that things, have a funny way of working out.
Yeah, but we've never done it like again, and I don't know if we ever will. Right now at 11 o'clock, we're like, okay, we're sleepy, so I don't know. Anyway, another one that is very interesting is to have a spa day together. We can do this. You can do this at home. It's very, very simple. You can do like, would you let me put a mask on you?
I don't know about that.
If your husband is a sport and they let you do that, or I don't know, just massage or something, or you can even go to a spa and have they have packages for couples out there. So that's another fun idea. So I hope you like these ideas, and I hope you put some of these in practice. But the main point is to spend time together, to have that time, that quality time, like my husband said, together, to chat about what's going on with you and all that, and be listened to. Not only just the kids, but everything that is going on in your life. Have that time. If it's necessary, put it in your calendar. We have a calendar down here, a paper calendar, and so sometimes we just write things down there. We both coordinate our Google calendars because
It has to be done.
the phone, and so we put it in our phones, and I make sure that he knows, so we both have the same schedule when it comes to those things. Anything you'd like to add, my love?
I want to say thank you for inviting me. This was great. Maybe we can do this on a more regular basis,
Yeah,
depending
I
on
like that.
depending on the work situation.
Yeah.
Right. To your listeners, it was great meeting you through this online medium. And if you have any suggestions or if you have any comments, go ahead and drop them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so that you can get
Yes.
the notifications of when Jesse comes out with a new video. And who knows, maybe we'll come back and do like a partner thing
Yeah, that'd be
later
cool.
on.
Let us know if you'd like to see us more.
And also, if you would like for us to touch on something specific, not that we are experts or anything, but we have been married and we have faced, our fair share of ups and downs in our marriage, loss of job, relocating with a family to a location where it's just immediate family only. We don't have support from extended family here in Utah. So we do have a rather unique story on how God has moved in our lives and how He's brought us all along, and He's never left us and He's never dropped us, right? So if you would like to have a topic of discussion, or if you would like us to talk about something in specific, drop it in the comments, let us know, and we'll be more than happy to help and see where this all leads. Thank you for your time. God bless you, and it has been great.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.